Hey, what's up guys? Tim here. So for today's tutorial, we're learning how to tie the advanced Solomon bar. And that is this pattern here. This is a tricolor version, working with the white, orange, and charcoal gray. So really nice combo on this one. Here's the back side. Looks like it can be worn quite nicely as well on this side, but this is the one we're doing. And despite this being not in loop in this example, I will be showing you how to tie this bracelet with buckles as well. Okay. So I learned this method via Swiss Paracord blog. I will annotate their link down below. Great site. A lot of good resources there. Okay. And yeah, I think you guys will like this one. It's not too hard. It's based on the Cobra stitch, just with an extra strand added into it. Okay. So with that being said, let's get into it. Okay, so I got all my paracord ready. I've got my knot and loop core here because I'm showing you guys both the knot and loop method as well as the buckles. So I'm going to start off by showing you how to set up on buckles and get it started, and then we'll transition over to knot and loop. That way I don't have to make two bracelets. But anyways, yeah, so we don't need this for now. Well, that's our knot and loop core. Put that away. So in terms of paracord, I've got 5 feet of my accent color, white. And I'm doing a bracelet that's about 8.5 inches or so. So you can kind of gauge how much you'll need. 5 feet of the accent. Now, if you're doing buckles, you'll need, I'd say roughly 4, maybe 4.5 feet of each color. I'm using orange and charcoal gray. But if you're doing the knot and loop method, you'll only need about 3.5 feet of each color. Of course, I'll annotate all these measurements into the description of the video. Okay, so let's get started with our buckles. Now, you're going to take your buckle. I'm using the 1/2 inch width side release plastic buckles. We're going to feed our paracord onto one end first. And I just like to use this method where you can take either microcord or just one of the inner strands of your paracord. You're going to go through the top of the buckle, so you'll know because your buckle is curved that this is the top. Doesn't matter which side you do. I'm just going to go on the male end. Okay, now we're just going to pull this through like that. Okay. Then we're going to do our cow's hitch like this. So we made a loop and now we're pulling all the other paracord through, and then we're going to cinch it shut. Now, it doesn't really matter where this melted end is because you're going to be weaving your bracelet over that. So, I mean, you can keep it as close to the cow's hitch, closer to the cow's hitch if you want. It doesn't really matter, just because you're going to be weaving on top of it, so it'll hide it nicely. Okay, so that's where you should be right now. Okay, so from now, we're going to feed our paracord through to the other end. Okay, so I'm going to find my other ends of my paracord. And as you can see, I've melted and pinched these flat with pliers so that they're easier to feed through the slot there. Okay, so now what you want to do is go through the top again of the buckle. So again, look at the curved part. This is the top, and of course you want to keep the paracord on their respective sides. So I've got orange on that side, gray on the other side. Okay. Going to feed these through like that, and of course with all buckle bracelets, this is where you measure how much you need, right? So this is where you would figure out the diameter of your bracelet. All right, so this is where you should be now. You've got cow's hitch on one side and then pieces fed through the other side. Okay, so now we can actually start weaving our advanced Solomon. Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll lead with the orange. Doesn't really matter which one you lead with, but just choose one. I'm going to lead with my orange, then I'm going to take my gray, lay that across up and down here. Then after I'm going to put the gray through the other side that we created like that. So I'm sure this is no big surprise for you guys. Alright, that's the simple Cobra stitch. Now we're going to add our accent color. So what you'll notice is you'll have to feed it through whichever loop is on the front here, on the right side. Well, I guess in this case it's on the right side, whichever loop is facing downwards because it's kind of, it would look weird if you did it through this side. You'll see why in a second. Anyways, we're going to put that through here, just like that. Okay, and then we're going to tighten our first stitch, like that. Okay, so there, that's the start on how to do this with buckles. Now we're going to switch over to the knot and loop. Okay, so now that I've taught you how to start off with the buckles, we're going to transition to knot and loop, and I'll show you the main full weave here. So I've got the core ready to go, and I'm doing a bracelet that's about 8.5 inches from the top of my loop to the end of my knot. Of course, I'll annotate the how-to for the diamond knot if you don't know. So this time I've got 3.5 feet of each color because you know, our core is separate from these pieces, so we don't have to have extra like the buckle method. And of course, the same amount of accent, 5 feet of the white. Okay, so just for consistency, we're going to start the same way with the same lead color, which is orange. We're going to put our 2 strands behind the loop, going to lay it across. Then we're going to take the gray behind. So the exact same cobra stitch we just did, same thing. Okay, now before we tighten it down, we're going to make our 1/2 inch loop again. And actually I forgot to loosen this. I should loosen this now so we can insert our accent color, the white, just like the first time. Okay, so that's tightened down, and we'll cinch up our loop. Okay, so this is where you should be now, and if you did buckles, this is the exact same spot where you should be. Okay, so now again, yep, we're just going to start the same lead color orange, and we're going to do gray through. So now the way you continue this is you want your accent color to go behind and through the loop here. Okay, and it's going to go over whichever loop you're following. Obviously this only goes one way, so it's going to be over to this side and through the loop. Okay, so I'm going to pull all this through. Okay, like that. We've got that going to one side. Then we're going to cinch closed our cobra knot and pull that really tight, and then from here just tug on your accent color, and that brings it closed like that. Right? And that's basically it. We're just going to continue again, cobra knot, like that, and then accent color through the respective loop that's on its side, and then pull it shut, push it closed, and then pull out the slack, like that. So now you can see our advanced Solomon stitch is forming. I'm going to go all the way around. Now make sure you always go behind and through here, like this, okay? Do not go, I don't know, like through the loop here like that. It'll get caught. So just keep doing that. There we go. Right, so we can see our stitch starting to form, coming together nicely. So I'm just going to continue weaving down my core. You'll do the same whether you're doing knot, loop, or buckles, and then we will finish it off. Okay, so I'm just about done. I've got one last cobra knot to tie, and I'll show you guys how to finish off. Should be the same whether you're doing buckles or knot and loop. So we're going to do one last cobra stitch, orange over the core, and gray through here. Now we're going to take our accent color. We're going to go behind and through like we did before, but this time we're going to go through to the other side and go through the orange loop here, like that. Okay, you want to make sure you go above this gray strand here. I tried going below. It actually looks a little bit better if you do it this way. Okay, so we're going to pull that through. As you can see, I've got quite an excess of white, so you don't need that much to start out with. Okay, we're going to pull that shut like this, and then we're going to tug through that last little bit of excess, like that. Give it one last little tightening. Okay. And that is how we finish off our bracelet. So we can snip and singe off the 2 colors here, the gray and the orange, and then you can do the white last. I would suggest doing the white last just because you want to lock these two strands down tight for sure, and then you can clip off the excess white at the end just to make sure that that white cord is locked in there. And of course you can go back up here, snip off the excess, and then I'll trim the excess off my stopper knot as well. Okay, and then we'll be done. Alright, we are finished, guys. Here it is. I've snipped and singed off the excess up here, that little piece, and then down here, as well as there and there. And I did the got rid of the excess on the loop as well, or the knot, sorry. And that's it, guys. Really like this one. And as I mentioned earlier, I did have a good amount of excess for the white accent. I've got about a little over 2 feet actually of the accent here. So it definitely did not take the full 5 feet. So you can take that into account when you're doing your own bracelet, okay? So here it is again, the Advanced Solomon. Give you guys a quick close-up look of it. And again, here's the back side. It looks really nice like this. You can actually wear it both ways. But I guess this is the presentation side we look at. And again, this is a great bracelet because you can work with 3 colors. You know, even potentially 4 if you're doing the core a different color, but 4 might be a bit much. 3 colors is always a little tricky because you got to make sure all 3 colors work well with each other. And I think this white, orange, and gray looks great. You know, something about this color combination that just looks really, really nice. Okay, so that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, learning both the knot and loop and the buckles method. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. And if you guys have any comments or questions, you know, please feel free to leave them down below. I'm more than happy to help you out. And that's about it, guys. I'll see you next time on the next tutorial video.